All right, just confirming that we are ready to go, folks. Excellent. Let's light this candle.
We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCP chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger roll, Atlantic.
Water towers can fly!
Yes! Ego Delta nominal.
Flight outside SC off.
Bring in SCE off.
Off.
Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.
What is up, space fans? It's a big day here at, yes, this is Kennedy Space Center. This is not Vandenberg, I assure you. We will see a rocket here once some of this fog burns off. But once again, this is Kennedy Space Center, and it is time for a Falcon Heavy launch. The first time in, 4 years? But yeah, that's what's going on today. We're launching some classified payloads for the United States Space Force from LC-39A. I'm Jack Beyer, your humble commentator. I see 5x5s in chat. Thank you, everybody, for that. So I know I'm coming through loud and clear. But it's not just me blabbing today as we wait for Falcon Heavy to take to the skies once again. I'm also joined by our usual cast and crew, starting off with Alex. What's up, Alex? How are you feeling this morning?
Oh, I'm feeling so excited about this launch. It's been a long time coming. Finally, another Falcon Heavy.
Indeed, finally is the appropriate word to use here. I think we're all super excited to see a heavy lift rocket take to the skies once again from Kennedy Space Center. Oh boy. Also out in the field, we have Chris Gebhardt. Chris, how are you feeling? How are you feeling this morning?
Well, I can't wait to see that glorious sight of Olympics booster landings as they come back in synchronicity with each other. So I am absolutely jazzed, and we'll get the fog out of here. Don't worry.
It'll go away, I promise. We all promise. Thank you for chiming in, Chris. Also, joining us on the commentary today, but maybe not quite as much as he's pushing buttons and putting out fires, Das. Mr. John Galloway. Hey, Das.
Well, right now there's not any fires, Jack, but we are ready to go for Falcon Heavy here. Bit of an interesting thing, and hopefully the fog burns off. I almost thought I was at Vandenberg for a little while here.
Yes, the Vandenberg jokes abound.
It had to be done.
Moving right along, we're also joined on this stream by Mr. Sawyer Rosenstein. Sawyer, how are you feeling this morning?
I am feeling beyond excited. I mean, a little bit foggy here, but the sky had some gorgeous sun rays going through it, and hopefully that means that won't be the only bright thing flying through the sky today.
Yes, indeed. I think the T0 for this is 9:41 local, which is in 1 hour and 36 minutes on my mark. So we have some time for this fog to burn off. Do not fret, friendly viewers.
Yeah.
Also, what?
It wasn't exactly on your mark. I showed the clock when you said the town, and you just made up the mark.
I was the behind the scenes thing is I was looking at YouTube like a dum-dum, like I sometimes do, instead of looking at the Discord preview. But anyways, nobody cares about that. Falcon Heavy.
Falcon Heavy, right? How would you say this, Jack? Because you normally do single things like moon. So what would this be? Land.
You know what? Let me counsel with the Supreme Council.
I mean, you can go like Animal House instead of toga. You can do landing, lift off, heavy. Any combo of those.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as the stream goes. I think chat will supply us with some options as well. But I do want to point out we also have some folks out in the field that are not going to be on commentary, but we have Julia Bergeron out there. We also have Steven Marr out there, and we've got Michael Baylor out there. Oh, and Thomas. I'm making this difficult for Das, just rattling off a bunch of names, but so it's safe to say that the NASA spaceflight crew in force to cover a mission for Oh, how about we jump right into things and discuss a brief overview of what we think slash know is going to be launched. Chris?
Sure. Well, so this is a little bit of a different style mission in that we know one of the payloads on board, but other than that, we're not quite sure about the others. So on board, we know that there is a satellite called Tetra 1, and there is also a second unknown satellite. So we know there are at least two, but the possibility that there could be more does exist because this is a Space Force, it's classified, so they can swap things around and everything like that. One thing we do know about this mission, though, however, is that something did change with the payload mass very recently, and we believe that something did not get put on that was originally part of the plan, because originally the two side boosters for this mission, which are B-1064 and B-1065, were originally supposed to perform dual drone ship landings downrange in the Atlantic, but about a month-ish or so ago, we got publicly available information that the flight profile had changed, and those boosters are now flying back to Cape Canaveral for dual return to launch site landings today, which is really, really exciting. But that means that something changed with the payload mass they're trying to inject into orbit, because the only way they suddenly had enough reserve propellant in the two side cores to come back is because of a mass change in the payload. So something changed. We're not quite sure. So the secondary unknown payload we know absolutely nothing about except that there's a secondary unknown payload on board. But Tetra 1 is actually designed by Millennium Space Systems, which is a Boeing subsidiary company. It was completed 2 years ago in 2022, and basically it's a microsatellite, a mini satellite that can be used for various prototype operations, so testing of new technologies and new capabilities in and around the geostationary orbital area. And that is the one that we absolutely know is on board. It is basically for the United States Space Force's Space and Missile Systems Center's Space Enterprise Consortium Other Transaction Authority. That's a mouthful. And I got
Oh
it
boy.
on try one, and Thomas is clapping. So
Full marks. Full
AKA
marks.
OTA.
yes, UTA, yes, exactly. But that's basically all we know about this. This is very much a classified mission for the U.S. Space Force, but it is marking a couple of other firsts. And Sawyer, I don't know if you want to talk about some of the firsts for where this mission is specifically going and trying to get its payload.
Sure. This
We have
is
we have a question related to this. Why is Falcon
perfect.
Heavy necessary for this mission? And Sawyer, I'll let you take it away. Why Falcon Heavy?
Well, there you go. That's perfect. The reason for Falcon Heavy is because of where this payload is going. It is going direct into geostationary orbit. So you've probably heard maybe on past launches where we talk about it's going to a geostationary transfer orbit. That's where they drop it off somewhere in space, and then the satellite does the rest of the maneuvers to get itself into geostationary orbit, which basically means that it is set over one fixed spot around the Earth and is rotating at the same, or is orbiting at the same speed that the Earth rotates. So you get the satellite in the exact same spot all day round, basically, which is about 22,000 miles or 35,200 kilometers up. Because they're going direct and not with a transfer orbit, it will need the extra power that Falcon Heavy gives. And so much, in fact, that once it gets into a temporary orbit, it will then propel itself towards an apogee of basically the geostationary altitude, and then cruise for, we believe, about 6 hours until it finally relights to get itself into its final orbit.
That's part owing to a little bit. Well, I guess once we can see the Falcon Heavy a little bit better, but there is a gray stripe on the second stage.
Yes.
On the second stage, and that's part of what enables them to sort of do that longer coast, right?
That's exactly right, Jack. The gray stripe looks a little bit weird because you don't normally see rockets just add different color schemes to themselves. But this is actually for thermal control between the propellant temperatures. So you have that densified RP1 and the densified liquid oxygen that are in that second stage, and they need to stay as much in their cryogenic conditions with as little boil off as possible during that 6 hour coast up to geostationary orbital altitude. And that gray stripe actually allows for more uniform distribution of heating of the thermal energy between the propellants that actually allows them to stay in their cryogenic conditions a bit longer.
It's specifically on the RP1 tank, right? Like it's about keeping
Yes.
the RP1 liquid or slush, but not frozen because space cold and you don't want frozen fuel. So
Yeah, and it kind of can depend on where you are in your orbit because you would want that thermal property if you're on the night side to keep things a little bit warmer, and then on the day side it does the exact reverse, right? It helps with the thermal properties to keep it colder longer even if you're in daylight.
got it. Okay, so we have our first suggestion from chat as to what the chant for this launch should be, and it's Geo. I don't know. I don't know if I'm sold. But that's the first one I've seen that I really like. I feel like because this is a classified mission, it should be something more like silence. Like
Yeah. Redacted.
yes, that's
Redacted.
it. That's it. Done.
Redacted.
Redacted.
Cannot
There
confirm
you
or deny. Cannot confirm or deny. But really, the fact that this is a classified mission for the United States Space Force is super cool. I if you know anything about me, you know that my favorite type of launches are these classified launches because, well, I think part of the reason we all want to see Starship fly and succeed, and SLS for that matter, is we all want to see the future of rocketry and the future of science, as soon as possible. And the fact of the matter is, these classified missions are the very, it's the future today. We have no idea what it is. So, HWM Monkey, thank you for the support. They say heavy. I like that. That's a good one. That's
The
also a good
simplest
one.
one that eludes us.
Yeah, right. It was right there the whole time. Let's see here. Amiga Clone pointing out that this will be Falcon Heavy's last flight as the world's most powerful operational rocket. That is because we have a launch of SLS coming up here soon, and hopefully also Starship.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, exactly.
Knock on wood.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully I didn't just ruin it for everybody. My bad. Let's see here. I'm gonna go through, and if this is the first time you're watching one of our streams, hopefully we've got some fun first-time friends on this broadcast already. Type at NASA Spaceflight into chat and follow that with any questions you may have about the mission, about the launch, what have you, and we will see your question pop up into some software that Michael wrote, and we'll be able to answer your questions. So a little bit of an interactive thing. That's how we do it around here. Make sure you get your questions asked because I'm looking right now. You got a good question? I'll ask it. Like why bacon good? That one I don't know if I can answer. It's just sort of a property of the universe. Here's one from KWH. They're asking, for someone who doesn't follow closely, why no Falcon Heavy launches for 4 years? And I'm gonna throw this one to Alex because he hasn't said anything cool yet.
Yeah, well, it's actually been 3.5. The reasoning is basically because the contracts that they had for Falcon Heavy, the payloads, had been delayed for several years. Especially this mission had been contracted in late 2019 for a launch in late 2020. And it's been 2 years since that original target. And here we are. And it's not been the fault of Falcon Heavy. We know that Falcon Heavy was ready for flight even last year. In fact, we saw it in the hangar for Inspiration 4 in September of 2021, but it got delayed for another year, and here we are, November 2022, and finally we're gonna see Falcon Heavy launch again. Then there's bunch of more launches coming up that it got recently. Again, another orders that got delayed as well. Example, Psyche. I know a lot of people got a little bit disappointed for that delay. We've now recently known that the rescheduled launch date is going to be October 10th on the next year, 2023. And yeah, there's Viasat 3, USSF-67, another USSF mission as well. So yeah, the main driver for the reasoning behind that is basically payload delays. Certainly not focusing on Falcon Heavy. That was not. I've seen a couple of comments, obviously talking about the Starship, but definitely not because of that.
So Falcon Heavy good, payloads bad, I think is the summary there. Not bad, but delayed.
Yeah,
it's
delayed.
like part of the sort of genius move of SpaceX also doing Starlink is if they're gonna have the Falcon 9 system and the ability to launch so rapidly and reuse these boosters so rapidly, sometimes though, even if you have a bunch of boosters and rockets and second stages and all the rigmarole ready to go, what if you don't have a payload? Well, my friends, just slap 50 to 60 Starlinks on there and send it to orbit and wait for your customers to be ready. So always cool that that we can see little, efficiencies that SpaceX brings out of the woodwork. Speaking of, Alex, you said the word. You said Starship, so I'm going to have to, it's in my contract. I have to now ask a Starship question. I'm going to throw this one to Sawyer because why not? BN 102 is asking, is Starship likely to render Falcon Heavy? Oh, I deleted it. That's my bad. Whoops. Is Starship likely to render Falcon Heavy obsolete in the near future? I would say no. What is your reaction to that question, Sawyer?
I mean, my reaction is I believe Elon has mentioned that at some point the plan is to do everything on Starship and slowly phase out Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy for something, where it's basically one vehicle, it's versatile and can do low Earth orbit, can do beyond Earth orbit. So, I mean, for the foreseeable future, I think Falcon Heavy is here to stay. But down the line, I believe the plan is to slow down its launch cadence in place of Starship.
And
Yeah.
part of a large part of that has to do with the fact that the Falcon 9 is NASA's crew transportation vehicle to and from the International Space Station. Right now, it's the only one, although that is set to change early next year. But NASA has already bought out 14 or 15 CRS flights from SpaceX at this point, going out to 2030, which would be the anticipated end of the International Space Station program. And then after that, you have the Axiom stations, you have everything else that's coming online. So yeah, Falcon's definitely here for a little while longer.
Yeah, my immediate reaction to that question is, I mean, yes, eventually, someday in the future, Starship will render the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy systems obsolete, but it takes a long time for vehicles to get certified for especially national security payloads. It's a rigorous process. And even when Starship has completed its orbital test flight and completed several flights after that, we can expect it to take a little bit of time for it to be qualified for, either really prestigious national security missions or really important science missions. It takes time, so that is also part of it, part of the calculus here. I'm going to run through. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, apart from that, not only it needs multiple flights, but also refueling in orbit, because for this kind of mission, for example, that Falcon Heavy is doing today, Starship will need refueling in orbit because you will think that because it's bigger, it will basically be able to go to this kind of orbit. But the problem is, well, not problem, but more like a feature of a Starship is that it kind of kills part of the performance in order to be able to land back on land when it returns from orbit. So that extra dry mass basically avoids them to be able to go into this orbit without refueling. So you will need refueling in order to get to geostationary orbit. So that's one thing that you will obviously need to certify. I'm really curious how that's going to be worked on for national security missions, but I'm sure they'll get there at some point. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I want to run through some super chats really quick. Don't forget, there's a bunch of different ways you can support what we do, and one of those ways is with these super chats. Ask a question, make a statement, what have you. Let's see, RG1028. Thanks for becoming a Padlet member. There's also the membership program, which I will inevitably talk your ear off about here in a minute. But Musical Wolves, thank you for the support. They say 3 Falcon 9s, so it is a candle or is it candles? I think it's candles. I'm gonna just weigh in there. Cade Plays, thank you for the support. They say after 3 years on the ground, the Falcon Heavy is heading back to space. Can't wait. I don't think any of us can wait either. The excitement here is palpable. I can palp it. Kiefer's channel, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. At Capcom level and above, you get Discord access. And you say level and above. What does that mean? Well, there's a membership program that we have. You can support us via that. It's a monthly contribution at a level that you choose. The different levels have different perks, including Discord access at Capcom level and above. So thank you, Kiefer, for the support there. Jay Gunpla, thank you for the support. They say this payload is so classified we aren't even allowed to see the rocket. Something Vandenberg. All right, moving on. Musical Wolves, again, thank you. They said, did someone bring the fog with them? I think we can all blame Michael Baylor. Thank you, Michael, for the fog. Mike Bo becoming a Capcom member. Thank you, Mike Bo. Again, Discord access at Capcom level and above to our membership program. Membership program is so key to what we do. I mean, we're running McGregor Live, Space Coast Live, Starbase Live, all kinds of things going on at the NASA Spaceflight HQ. So definitely appreciate all of our members. We could not do what we do without you guys. Holy guacamole. Jerwa gifting 50 Red Team memberships. 50 Red Team memberships gifted from Jerwa. I don't even know what to
50?
say to that. 50.
Like 50?
50 Red Team memberships. If you're watching right now and you just got gifted a Red Team membership, say thank you to Jerwa in chat. Jerwa, thank you so much for all of your support throughout the years of our channel. Cannot thank you enough. And the cool part is now 50 people who otherwise would not have the ability to know how awesome the membership program is will now get to know how awesome the membership program is. So enjoy your Red Team memberships, everybody. Thank you so much, Jerwa. I mean, I can't even express my gratitude well enough. Just know that we're gonna constantly do what we can to bring you guys the best views, despite fog or what have you. But thank you, Jerwa, so much. JD Brown, thank you for the support. They say, what did SpaceX focus primarily on during the 3-year hiatus between Falcon Heavy launches, and why will they be expending the core booster only for this mission? Who wants to take it?
I'll take it.
All right, go for
I'll
it, Chris.
take it. I'll take it. So I'll take the second one first. They need to expend the center core on this particular mission because of the amount of propellant they need to leave within the second stage. Because the second stage not only has to fire to get the vehicle into an initial low Earth parking orbit and then fire again for the geostationary transfer burn to send the apogee of the orbit, the highest part of the orbit, out to about 35,200 kilometers. It then needs to coast all the way up to that point, which takes about 6 hours, and then reignite the engine again to raise the perigee, the bottom part of the orbit, up to 35,200 kilometers as well to circularize it into what is known as a direct geostationary insertion orbit. In order to do that, the only way to do it with the payload mass for the satellites that are on board with this mission is to expend the center core. So they can get the 2 side boosters back with return to launch site landings, but they cannot get the center core back based on the performance margins they need to leave the second stage with. So that's the second part of it. What has SpaceX been focusing on for the last 3 years between Falcon Heavy launches? Well, they've been keeping the preparedness for Falcon Heavy ready because it's not just this one that got delayed. Psyche got delayed, Viasat got delayed, a whole bunch of others for the Space Force and US government got delayed as well here. So in the meantime, since June of 2019, which was the last time the Falcon Heavy flew, SpaceX has really concentrated on getting their crew flight program up and running. It was about a year after the most previous Falcon Heavy that Bob and Doug launched on Demo 2, and then we have had 5 NASA launches up to the International Space Station since Bob and Doug, plus Axiom 1 and Inspiration 4 as well. So they have really concentrated on not just launching the Starlink constellation, but in getting the crew program up and running very smoothly and kind of like clockwork too.
Yeah,
for what's
dare I
needed.
say remarkable smoothly. Knock on particle board.
But that is amazing just to think in the short time that has been since Falcon Heavy flights. We had not, the last time Falcon Heavy flew, there had not been a single Starlink version, the one, I believe 1.0 that's up now. There had been 0 people that had flown into space on a SpaceX rocket. So it's been a while, but they've been busy in between for sure.
Yeah,
And no
hasn't it the
flights.
case that Starhopper hadn't even flown yet?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Until a few
Venerable
days after.
Starhopper. Yeah, that's wild. That's absolutely wild, and just goes to show how long it has been. Just oh my goodness, I think we're all
Also, how
super
busy
excited.
SpaceX has been between it too.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I see a lot of people in chat lamenting the fog. Fret not, friends. It's an hour and 14 minutes to launch. There'll be plenty of time for the. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of fog. I feel like it's gotten worse. Oh geez. Oh
It
gosh.
definitely has. It's definitely gotten worse, Jack.
The Florida the intense Florida sun. Everybody pray to the sun god. Sun god good. It'll burn off the fog. We're just gonna state that with authority and hope that it actually happens. But as soon as we have views of the rocket, we'll show them. But in the meantime, we are just switching around to our various different cameras. I mean, that's a really cool shot of the VAB. Give me, you Willie's got that.
It really is. I mean, like the way the fog was rolling over the VAB is really cool, but I want to make sure people know too, like this isn't just like, oh, the specific place we have the cameras can't see it. Like, no, Mark 1 eyeball can't can barely see the countdown clock as well, can barely see the VAB right now as well. But yeah, it's still enough time for it to burn off that we won't be too worried just now. And plus, when I look up, I can see crystal clear skies. So
Yes.
like we're going to see this thing one way or the other. Yes.
And it is important to note also that fog is not a weather factor when it comes to the go no go for launch.
Well, it's a weather factor and whether or not I can see the rocket.
Hey.
True. Hey.
Oh boy.
You like that? Yeah, it's a weather factor. Ha.
Solid. I'm on board. I'm
Alright,
on
cool.
board with the trolley is moving down the rails. I got nothing. Musical Wolves, thank you so much. They say, will we likely see a Falcon Heavy jellyfish? Not on this one.
Not today, no. Timing is just not quite there. I mean, it might be possible if the camera angles are perfect to see a little bit of the interaction, but like standing on the ground, looking up at it, no, you don't typically see the plume interactions during the day. You
Right.
can see them in evening and at night and in the early morning hours, but you usually don't see them. And like the first two Falcon Heavies that were during the day, like maybe you could see a little puffiness with your naked eye as they were interacting, but it's not like the nebula that you expect to see at night or anything like that.
That was amazing on STP2.
Yes, that was. Yes.
Westy the Third, thank you for the support. They say, I think I speak for everyone here when I say, woo, yeah, heavy. Happy to be sharing this with you all. Thank you so much, Westy. Conservative Space Nerd, thank you for the generous support there. James, thank you for the support. Becoming a launch director member. Holy cow, James, thank you so much. That is one of the higher levels of membership. Thank you. Also, GRX70, also becoming a launch director. Cannot express our appreciation enough. And the way in which we will express that appreciation is by continuing to do our best to bring y'all the very best views we can of all the launches that we can. And, fog notwithstanding, but it's going to burn off. And the crowd chants, sun. Mood, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. Plush Vader, thanks for becoming a Red Team member. A couple more of these, and we will go on to some viewer questions. Gray Fox, thank you for the support. They say, I love you, Kel. Let's watch Heavy Launch. That's adorable. It's warming my cold, dead heart. DYU89, I know who that is. Thank you for the support. They say, Michael needs to stop taking the Vandy Fog with him, please. Let's all blame Michael.
Yes.
Wait, no, I didn't say that, because then I will he will have retribution against me. So no, nobody blame Michael. Ground umbilical carrier plate, which it just it sends shivers down my spine.
Oh
It just
boy.
sends shivers down my spine. If you know, you know. Guck P is saying, how long until we actually get the center core back? Guesses. Are they even going to do it at all, you think?
After they lost the third core in a row with that, I did hear some discussion as to whether or not, because of how far downrange the center core is always going to be, because of the hot energy profile it's going to be coming in, there was some talk about, do they actually need to do it, or is it just better to let it be expended? I don't know if they've particularly landed one way or the other on that, except I think future ones coming down the pike do still plan to have some recovery hardware on them. We'll have to wait and see what their ultimate decision is. But for this mission, the reason the center core is expendable has everything to do with the mission parameters and the mission needs, and nothing to do with, it's too difficult to get it back. It's really just, they need every ounce of performance out of it, or ton force of performance out of it that they can get. And that's the reason they're expending it on this one. And Sawyer is looking at me because I know he's got something to add.
Yeah, no, another factor that there also could be a deciding factor with that is the fact that this mission was originally supposed to have the side cores land on 2 of the barges, of which currently there are only 2 drone ships here on the East Coast. So if that is the case, if you need that extra performance from the side cores to the point that they will land on the drone ships, then you have no drone ship remaining for that center core. So that's also part of it too.
Yet.
Yes.
There's also the next 2 launches of Falcon Heavy are going to be same profile as this. The only difference is because they have different masses of the payload. We believe the next one is going to be probably also drone ship landings for the side boosters, so no center core recovery. And the next one after that is also a military mission like this one, also to the same kind of orbit. And we're not sure if it's going to be side boosters to drone ships or not, but the center core is probably going to be expanded as well because of similar kind of orbit. And I think there was a question as well somehow asking if there's going to be a fully expendable Falcon Heavy. There's going to be one. That's going to be Europa Clipper. So that's going to be very interesting to see fly.
Yes, indeed.
Quick, y'all. Jack, look at
Yeah.
the fog like rolling over the VAB.
It's like clinging to the VAB.
yeah, like
It's
the
so
far
cool.
side. Gah.
It's like the VAB got scared and the fog's going, shh. Protect your rocket. You're next. You're next. Like,
Maybe I'm just sleepy, but it's like I was gonna say it's like a comfortable blanket of fog for sleepy
Yes.
for the sleepy VAB, but
Gah.
just
It's like
projecting there.
breaking over the top
Yeah.
of it almost, like flowing over the top.
Now, you know what you can't see, but is happening right behind that vehicle right now. Crawler Transporter 2 should be starting its move to High Bay 3 to go get SLS on Friday night. The Crawler park sites are actually behind the VAB from this viewpoint, but first motion of the Crawler was supposed to have already happened this morning to go get SLS for its rollout on Friday morning. So,
Nice.
busy day here at the Space Center.
Really, what it is the VAB is its favorite holiday is Halloween, and it did not get the memo that it is the next day. It's functionally showing up to work in its costume for 2 days in a row, and
It had a
hoping
late
nobody says
night.
anything. Yeah, it had a
Dressed
really
as a
late night.
ghost.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, it was already wearing orange with a big orange rocket, so.
Spooky. Okay. Mayflower, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Kel saying I love you too to the person earlier who I forget who it was who said they love them. That's adorable. Once again, warming my cold dead heart. Nico, thank you for the support. They say, could they have saved the center core if they landed the side boosters downrange on a drone ship? Well, Sawyer, you were just saying they would need another drone ship, right?
Right, yeah. There's the two of them here, just read the instructions, and a short file of Gravitas. The third one, which used to be here on the Cape side, of course I Still Love You, is now out at the port over in California, and I believe actually has a booster being offloaded from it after the recent Starlink launch from Vandy.
That it does, and you cannot have our drone ship. You've already taken it once. You cannot take it again. You can pry it from my cold dead hands. I will fight you. Going on record. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Tiny ship, or tiny sniper, sorry, saying, would there be additional performance gain if they landed the side boosters downrange? Do they have that capability? We were just talking about that. Yes, they do, and yes, there is. Minimus, or go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. The only thing I would add is that for this one, the performance gain was sort of negated by the fact that you couldn't get the center core back anyway. So just take the performance gain you would have given the center core by burning the two side cores longer and just let the side cores come back and save a lot of money by not having to deploy marine assets to go get them.
That's right.
And it allows for another launch tomorrow, even, so that you can still use the drone ships.
That's true, because there's a drone ship landing tomorrow, isn't there? Yes.
It never stops. It never stops. Let's see here. Tom Dalton in chat says making bacon burns away fog, so you know what to do, everybody.
Well, clearly someone's been making bacon because we can see the clock a little bit better now on the cameras. So fog
Yay.
burning off, folks, and we promise there is a rocket, and we will get to see it at some point, hopefully today, if it lifts off.
T-minus an hour and 5 minutes. The sun, please come out, Mr. Sun, and do your thing. Miramus, thank you for the support. They say love from the Netherlands. I have a rocket joke. Oh God, let me read it first to make sure. Okay, they have a rocket joke. What rocket engine is the best for cleaning? A vacuum optimized one. All right, I'll see yourself. See myself out. We will all see you out. We are all currently escorting you to the exit.
You know what? I applaud that sense of humor. That fits all of us quite well. I love that.
I'm on board. Lensman, thank you for the support. They say he is heavy. He's my booster. That's a reference to something that I am completely missing. Darn it.
He isn't heavy. He's my booster. Nice.
Yeah, I don't. What? I'm lost. Sorry.
Movie quotes.
Yeah, but what movie?
I don't know. No, I I almost said Few Good Men, but it's not Few Good Men. It's something with men, mice and men, I think. Few Good
It
Men.
doesn't involve sci-fi. I don't think we're gonna know it.
You want my
Yet
brother?
another
You can't
movie we
handle
can
my
add
brother.
to the not seen NSF list.
Chad is saying it's a
Songbook,
Beatles
maybe.
song. It's a
Beatles song, okay.
Yeah, I'm completely lost. No, it's the
I knew the-
Hollies. The Hollies? Anyways.
I don't know. I knew it was a
One
quote.
of
I
the
knew what
things
that
to
quote was
cue up.
supposed
Here
to
comes
be.
the sun.
I don't like
Welcome
being
to
the one that
NSF.
doesn't get the reference. I'm usually the one
Oh.
that's like shaming Adrian for not getting a reference or something, and I'm completely
don't-
lost right now.
So I don't get it either, but I love the fact that basically what this became is NSF tries to decode a cultural reference they're not aware of.
Oh, we're all
Jack,
nerds.
I know what song I'm gonna be
Jack.
listening to later now.
What's up, Dos?
I don't know if it's worse to not get the reference or get the reference but get it wrong.
They're both bad.
Which is worse?
And Adrian in our back channel just says in all caps, "Now you know how I feel." And ooh, that cuts me deep. Oh man.
Oh, that's good, Adrian. That's good.
BVF, thank you for the support. They say there's a Marty McFly joke in here somewhere with Falcon Heavy. Okay. I understand the
Fading from view?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's got to go back in time and save itself by making its parents go to a I don't. Okay, Jonathan, thank you for becoming a launch director member. SA, thank you for the support. They say, what do they change at LC-39 for Falcon Heavy to Falcon 9? I'm going to give this one to Alex because I know you know all about the changes that were necessary to support a Falcon Heavy launch.
Yeah, we have a video about that, by the way.
Do we? Do we have a video about that? Can we put a link
Yeah.
to that video in chat, perhaps? So that
Sure.
I
maybe
wonder.
if somebody wanted to watch such a video and get a really in-depth explanation of every little bit and piece, maybe you can go watch that later. But give us an executive.
Oh, well,
Jack's still here.
I think, yeah, Jag is it's getting robotic. Yeah, so the changes were merely mostly on the on where the rocket is held down to, the hold downs, the QDs. So basically the quick disconnects from where the side boosters are fueled from. Those were installed as well. They also installed the previous flight from 39A was a Falcon 9 launch, but it was a Dragon launch. It was the Crew 5 launch. And so they had to change the top of the Stromback that was configured for Dragon launches. It was reconfigured for fairing launches. Then also they added umbilicals for the nose cones. They basically are usually purged with nitrogen as they don't want liquid oxygen. Because the top tank on the boosters, it's a liquid oxygen. They don't want buildup of gaseous oxygen on the nose cones and also on the intro stage as well. And they also installed what they are called compression bridges, so that the rocket can basically be held down in between the cores, in between the core booster and the side boosters. They put those on the mount so that the loads, the weight, as the rocket is basically held up vertical and fueled during launch countdown, that can be basically very well distributed during that process of active loading the boosters and everything. So yeah, it's a little bit of a summary. We go more in depth on that video.
Yeah, and I just posted the link to the video. Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me? Am I a robot? Beep, boop.
Yep,
Jack, you're good.
I can
You're
hear
good.
you.
All right, cool. I just posted the link to that video in chat a bunch of times. I'll do it a bunch more here.
And
Go check it out.
SpaceX just confirmed that it is on track for launch. So they are on track.
Excellent.
Sweet. That's what we want to hear. An hour to go. An hour and 20 seconds ish. I'm not gonna make the same Mark mistake this time.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, and you know, for those of you who are very, very familiar with Falcon 9s and how Falcon 9s fuel, prepare for a surprise coming up in about 10 minutes, because that's when fueling begins for the Falcon Heavy. So in about 10 minutes here, we will be into fueling operations for liftoff.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Falcon
We'll
Heavy.
take your word for it.
Yes.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say it, but you said it. All right. How about we
Just
do
what everybody's thinking.
how about we do some more viewer questions? Let's see here. Tnarg, oh, come on, you got to give me some like vowels in between consonants here. Tnarg17 is asking, is this the first Block 5 Falcon Heavy launch? Who wants to take that one?
No, it is not the first Block 5 Falcon Heavy.
I believe it's actually the third.
Yeah.
The only one that wasn't was the Falcon Heavy demo flight.
All right, then.
Yep.
Let's see here. Moving right along. Don't forget, ask your questions at NASA Spaceflight, and we might just answer them. A whole bunch of questions. I know we just talked about this a little bit, but there's a whole bunch of questions about why they're expending the center core. I mean, we could just touch on that again really quickly. Good is asking, why aren't they recovering it? JD Ranks is asking, what's going to happen to it? Mr. Blocksy is asking, why aren't they recovering it? A lot of people want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Indeed. So this has everything to do with the performance capabilities for the rocket and the mass of the payload and where the payload is going. So if you recall, right, there are two different sorts of orbits that you can throw these missions into, right? And it's geostationary transfer orbit, where the rocket does about half the work of getting it to its final orbit, and then the satellite has to do the rest of it. And then there's what's known as direct geostationary insertion missions. And this is a direct geostationary insertion flight. So the second stage will first do a burn to get the payload into a low Earth orbit. Then it will reignite over the equator to throw the top part of the orbit out toward geostationary altitude, which is roughly 35,200 kilometers for this mission. And then it'll coast up to there, and about 6 hours later, reignite that engine to do a circularization burn to raise the orbit up there. And because of all of that, and those extra burns, you have to leave extra propellant in the second stage than you normally would, or just a transfer orbit. And because you have to leave all of those propellants in the second stage, you have to burn the core stage for longer, which means expending it, because you basically need to use everything in it.
Talking while muted. That makes sense. Go ahead, Alex.
And what it's most likely going to happen to it is just going to disintegrate during reentry.
It's going to become a spicy series of not booster. It'll disintegrate, right?
If anything does end up splashing back down, it's not the end of the world. A lot of old rocket parts have ended up becoming artificial reefs at the bottom of the ocean, so it's not a total waste.
Hey, hooray reefs. Let's see here. Looking for some more questions. Here, you know what? Every now and then I like to just throw one of these into the mix. Sort of a more, look at the VAB getting even spookier. Let's see. It's a little bit more of a philosophical question. Stephen Rogers is asking, in what decade do you think mankind will leave the solar system and venture into deep space? Alex, go first. I'm just going to go down the list. Give me a date. I know you're going to hem and haw.
Can you repeat the question? I was looking at other stuff. Sorry.
When do you think we will leave the solar system and venture into deep space?
Oh, boy. 200 years? 300 years?
What?
I don't know.
200?
A long time from now. Yeah.
I'm going to say 50, just because come on.
Does that mean like humans or like robotic missions?
Well, I mean, the robots has already happened, right? We've got the Voyager probes out there doing their thing. Chris G, what do you think? This is like going to pulling the Star Trek cord here. When do you think we're going to venture into deep space?
Oh, well, as much as I would love to be able to say very, very, very soon, I think deep space, like beyond our solar system, is still well over a century or more away. Sadly.
That's fair. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Imagine 50 years ago. What would that be? That would be what, 1970?
50 years ago would have been the 70s, yeah.
72. Yeah, 1972. Imagine being in 1972 and the technology back then, and then imagine today, and then sort of extrapolate out from there 50 years from now. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I want to believe. Hashtag I want to believe. Das, what do you think? Ready to go?
It's going to be a while. Get comfortable.
All right. Well, Earth is good and Earth is comfortable, so I think we're good there. And Sawyer, I'll let you chime in here. What do you think when we're going to venture into deep space as a species?
I think your 50-year mark is good for colonizing Mars, maybe, but I don't know about going beyond the solar system. I think we're still at least a century away as well.
Oh, come on. I'm going to be old and crispy here soon. I want to see cool stuff. 50 years. Let's just go with it.
There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff.
That's true. That is true. All right. Thank you, Stephen, for the interesting question. Let's get back to Falcon Heavy. We are 54 minutes away from the opening of the window. It is a 29 minute. Yeah, thank you. 29-minute launch window, starting at 9:41 a.m. Eastern Time. So the clock is steadily ticking down. When does fueling start?
Well, it should start in
Yes.
about 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes.
All right, then.
Indeed. And so because there's more fuel to pack on board, right? Because the fuels are much more densified and colder and everything like that, and how all of that affects the ground infrastructure and the rocket and the support struts between the side cores and everything, it means they can't do the as rapid of a fueling process as they normally do. With the Falcon 9, they have to start that process a bit earlier to let the thermal conditions work their magic across all the vehicles and the attach struts and the connection points on the pad and everything. And that means they start fueling the 3 central cores, the first stage, at T-minus 50 minutes, and then they pick up with seconds, but then the second stage does the same thing. So when they get to 35 minutes, they'll start with RP1 kerosene, go through that, and then they'll wrap that up. They'll do the T-minus 22-minute vent, not T-minus 20-minute vent, because everything's about 2 minutes earlier at the end here with Falcon Heavy. So 22-minute vent, not 20-minute vent. And then RP1, and then liquid oxygen loading into the second stage will pick up. Fueling of the Falcon Heavy wraps up around 2.5 minutes prior to liftoff. So they still do the same load and go procedure, just takes them a little bit longer because of the bigger nature of the vehicle. And plus, Sawyer had some great stats in his article today. It also just takes a while to load 287,000 kilograms of liquid oxygen and 123,000 kilograms of RP1 into the vehicle. So I think we can say you can have an extra 15 minutes to load the vehicle on this one.
Yeah, that's fair. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of, dare I say, bonky, that it only takes 15 extra minutes when you add 2 additional cores there like that. And I'm hearing in our back channel that we are go for prop load. We are go for prop load. That is what
Right
we
on
want
time.
to hear. Just like the Red Hot Chili Peppers said. Let's see here. No one's gonna understand. Okay, moving on. Mr. Vippets. Nothing wrong with that. Good. No music shaming here. Mr. Vippets is asking, how often do you have to refly Falcon 9 boosters to lift the same mass to orbit as one Falcon Heavy? This is like a word problem here. Alex is like frantically scribbling on a back of an envelope. What is the performance discrepancy there, or how many Falcon 9s equals one Falcon Heavy? And don't say 3 unless it's actually 3.
Wait, me?
Anybody?
Oh. Well,
Let me
it
take a look. I
depends.
can let you know.
All right, we're doing the math. We are doing the math. In the meantime,
I have the SpaceX paperwork. I'm looking it up for you.
all right, cool.
Is it an expendable configuration? Is it reusable?
Well, yeah, let's just say
It depends.
let's say in the same configuration that we're looking at here now, with a center core expended and the dual RTLS side boosters.
Okay, well, that should be about 45 tons to low Earth orbit. So that would probably mean 3 launches of Falcon 9 in the same configuration as it is for a Starlink launch, for example.
So it did end up being 3. Hooray!
It looks about right from the math I'm seeing.
2.7, but you can round it up to 3. It's okay.
Oh goodness. Well, let's see here. Oh, you know what? I think in commemoration of Falcon Heavy's first launch in like 3.5 years, we have some Falcon Heavy specific merch. If you want to express your love for all things heavy, feel free to check out our store. We've got all kinds of cool stuff. We've got the heavy hoodies, headvies. Okay, we've got the heavy design. It comes on t-shirts and hoodies and all kinds of other things, as well as we've got some metal prints from previous Falcon Heavy launches, from like some cool remote shots and stuff like that. So definitely check out the store. It's another way you can support what we do. So thank you to everybody for supporting what we do, because hey, that means we get to keep doing it. So
Mhm.
I'll just throw that out there.
And I do want to give a shout out because I know there's a couple people watching who were on a boat ride I took out yesterday to the launch pad. They were all wearing their NSF shirts, and we all connected over that, and we're having a great conversation. And hopefully, everyone that's down here gets to see the launch. And they just happen to be looking cool, in my opinion, wearing those shirts too.
Yes, indeed. And we have a promotion going right now, just, basically for this stream. If you get more than one product that is a Falcon Heavy related product, all of the Falcon Heavy products in your cart will get a 10% discount. So get more than one Falcon Heavy product. The Falcon Heavy products in your cart will get a 10% discount. And that is a special promotion that we are running on this stream just for y'all. So if you want to load up on some heavy merch, go on and do it. Let's see here.
The hoodie's gray to match the view. Hey.
48 minutes to go, and we're all just like praying to the sun gods and hoping that this fog burns off. Let's see here. Here's one from Matt Hicks asking, any word on SpaceX's vertical integration facilities, or do you think that they will use the new Mega Bay at Kennedy Space Center? I don't think the Mega Bay is really a replacement for that, but they're supposed to be building a vertical integration facility at 39A at some point here, right? That's still a thing that's happening?
It has
Some
been
point,
discussed,
it
that's
is.
for sure. Yeah, I mean it's something that has been planned and discussed so that for something like this with a national security payload or something that is more secretive that you need to access and integrate while out at the pad, as opposed to like this one where it rolls up horizontal and then is lifted vertical. Then yeah, that's what they're planning on, but again, not happening yet.
Hey, y'all. We've been
Uh-oh.
busy here,
Uh-oh.
pulling levers and pushing switches and buttons and things. Got a little
Hey.
closer feed there.
Hey.
Enhance.
Enhance, nice.
Enhance. Awesome. Well, closer views are good. Oh my gosh, look at that.
So weird without the landing legs.
I
The
know
center core.
I'm supposed to like commentate and be insightful, but at certain times I just am kind of gobsmacked, and all I can say is just look at that. Oh my gosh. And yeah, note that center core does not have recovery hardware. Good call, Alex.
No
What were you gonna
legs,
say?
Speaking of the vertical integration facility, if you keep this feed or if you can keep that on the right hand or on the right side, you can see there the trench, the flame trench that was actually covered a little bit to be able to adapt for that vertical integration facility. So you can see like a slab of concrete that they put out. That's actually new since the last Falcon Heavy flight because it's been so long that they actually installed that in between. So yeah.
Wow, and you can see it's just a super clean looking rocket. We got the gray stripe on the second stage. We've got the bare center core. Oh my gosh, this is.
You just wait until the next heavy.
Yeah, this is going to be an unusual sight now. The fact that we're seeing clean boosters. We've had so many reflown pieces and parts that the fact that we had Crew 5 and now this, both with all brand new boosters at 39A in a row, it's crazy.
It's kind of wild. It's a testament to the reusability program in Falcon 9 that a clean booster is abnormal. It kind of strikes me every single time that this is this is different, in that every other rocket that you look at, clean rocket is what you would expect, unless I guess it's like a Delta IV Heavy that's scrubbed a couple times and has already set itself on fire once or twice. But I digress.
Oh, don't bring up 44, the other 44. Anyway,
if the schedules hold, the next one is going to be very, very weird in that the left one is going to be a little bit sooty. The center core is going to be white. It's going to be new, but the right one is going to be super sooty. It's going to be the 8th or 9th launch of that booster, so it's going to be way, way sootier. It's going to be dirty.
Yes, and should also point out there along those lines that the side boosters can be converted to a Falcon 9 configuration and vice versa. The core stage cannot, but we have seen Falcon Heavy boosters that are now flying as a single stick Falcon 9, basically.
Yes, indeed.
But right now, these two that are on here, their next two flights after this are both scheduled to be on Falcon Heavies, also for the U.S. Space Force.
Sweet. Let's see here. Good question from Matt Hicks. Strum is asking, can a possible future crew-rated Falcon Heavy take Orion to the moon? Well, that's two questions. One, would they ever crew-rate Falcon Heavy? And two, can Falcon Heavy take Orion to the moon? I don't think it has a performance, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I don't think it will be able to throw Orion to the moon. Even in expendable configuration, Orion is just too fat, too heavy for even Falcon Heavy.
It's a big capsule.
Yeah, it's big. 27 tons, so that's a lot. And that's not even counting the launch escape system, which I guess you will need in case you're having a crewed launch to the moon.
God, I'm picturing it in my head, and that is a significantly cursed rocket.
Yeah.
Thomas in our back channel saying you need to add a third stage. So yeah, that makes sense.
You know what's ironic?
There's no plans to crew rate Falcon Heavy at the moment.
Yeah. If they were able to fit an ICPS on top of the Falcon Heavy second stage, you will actually be able to launch it to the moon. It actually gets the performance to get there. But you couldn't because you will need to add a gazillion of adapters, and the aerodynamics will be very weird and things like that. It will probably not work. But in terms of basic performance, Delta V, it will work in that sense.
Got it. 42 minutes to go, and let's answer some more of your questions. Oh, I want to point out for a moment, these awesome enhanced views that we are now able to show you, we are doing that because we have some infrastructure that we are able to deploy. We did this starting with SLS, where we can capture the fiber feeds from NASA. And the only reason that we can do that, is, there's a couple reasons. One reason is just sheer persistence. Thank you, Chris G. And another reason is because the support from viewers like you to enable us to basically buy the equipment that is required, which is, let's just say, is very much not cheap, to the tune of thousands and thousands of dollars. So thank you so much, everybody, for the support so that we can get these awesome fiber feeds from NASA. Gotta love it. Endeavor going with a risky question here, saying if Falcon Heavy scrubs and gets delayed, will SLS's roll be delayed or will Falcon Heavy roll back? How are these two massive vehicles? What is the interplay between the two of them here?
So, if the question is specifically about the rollout for SLS that is planned for Friday morning at what we like to call Triple Ball 1, which is basically 12:01 a.m. No, there's no constraint to having Falcon Heavy out on the launch pad. If Falcon Heavy should not launch today or by Friday morning, there's no constraint to having Falcon Heavy out at the launch pad. The constraint might come if SLS is trying to roll down the crawlerway and Falcon Heavy is trying to launch. The constraint might come if workers at SLS are having to do things because pad B might not be open for work based on the clearance radius that's needed for a Falcon Heavy versus a Falcon 9. But in essence, no, there's no constraint. Like Falcon Heavy doesn't have to roll back to its hangar because SLS needs to roll out Friday morning. It would mainly be a NASA trying to figure out how do we work around a launch schedule at a pad as we're trying to roll out. That's what they'd have to do.
Got it. Oh, and you can hear we are getting pad audio now.
Ooh.
I love it.
Ooh, the rocket is starting to come alive. This is what I love.
It's like taking its breaths, like as it slowly gets loaded with fuel.
It's like I'm ingesting coffee, it's ingesting LOX and RP1, and we're going through the same motions. Like, stretch, get ready.
So exciting. Absolutely so exciting to watch Falcon Heavy come to life for the first time in so long.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's so exciting. Like it's so wonderful to be watching this, but just incredible.
Absolutely incredible. Michelle is asking, what is the relevance of this launch being classified? I mean, that's just sort of what the situation with the payload is, right?
Exactly. It's basically just whatever it is, some I guess, restrictive or new or experimental technology that they don't want potential adversaries knowing about yet. But all we can say is, for those of you who live in the U.S., your tax dollars at work.
Yes, indeed.
I love that, and I absolutely love that. Your tax dollars at work. But yeah, at T-minus 40 minutes here, 39 minutes, 12 seconds and counting, you can see Falcon Heavy fueling up. The 3 core boosters started fueling at the T-minus 50-minute mark with LOX and RP1, and the second stage will begin fueling with RP1 here at the T-minus 35-minute mark. And since Sawyer said if you're a U.S. citizen, your tax dollars at work, I got a question for you all. There's nearly 18,000 of you watching. Where are you all watching from? We absolutely love this because we're a global community here at NSF. And it's not just the US folks who are interested in Falcon Heavy here today. So if you let us know in chat where you are watching from, and there it goes, Switzerland, Romania, Oklahoma, yes, UK, Wales, Poland,
Austin,
Bulgaria,
Romania, Michigan,
Woohoo!
Mars, somebody says. Yeah, right. Norway, Scotland, Yorkshire.
Countries of the World song from Animaniacs through my head now reading this.
Indeed.
There's Christopher Bowles from Yorkshire, UK. There's another Chris B in Yorkshire. That means you have to be friends with.
Two Chris B's in Yorkshire.
Please tell me you also like Shuttle.
Universes are colliding. But in addition to telling us where you are, I see that we only have 3.3 thousand likes on a stream with 18,000 people watching. I think we can do better than that. And I'm not just being funny, guys. Engagement is one of the ways that if you would like to help support us, right? Hitting that like button, engaging with us in chat makes the YouTube algorithm go, oh wow, people really like this stream. Let me suggest it to others too. So that's another way you can help us and help other people see a Falcon Heavy launch. So because some people, it's been a long time. It's going to be their first time seeing a beast like this lift off.
And merch
Speaking
too.
of, well, some merch.
Speaking of supporting us.
Yes. And also supporting us, you can also be adorned in your own heavy merch because this is just the first of a salvo of Falcon Heavies that they've got planned over the next 5 months. So get your heavy merch with us. Pauline did an absolutely wonderful job with this design. And yeah, definitely get your cladding, like 39A.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy.
Falcon Heavy didn't like that one.
No, Falcon Heavy disagreed with the joke.
Probably
So be
venting
it.
for RP1 load on the second stage.
Which is supposed to start in about 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Which would make sense. Definitely.
We're currently on RP1 load on the 3 boosters and LOX load on the side boosters. And we should be coming up on RP1 load on the second stage, and I guess also LOX load on the center core.
Excellent. Things progressing exactly as we would expect and want to see. I love it. Chat is still just going through all the different places they're watching from. Tampa, Florida, Arizona, Australia.
Oh,
Finland.
I like the person who says I'm in a recliner with a coffee with a Starbase mug in New York, Earth.
Love it.
Love it. But
Let's see
thank
here.
you all so much for joining us. The 18,000 of you. This is going to be an absolutely and hopefully incredible launch here in about 35 minutes, as Alex was just saying, as we step into the second of 3 parts of the fueling sequence here for Falcon Heavy.
Speaking of the fueling sequence, go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say that the side boosters are getting frosty, like with the condensation and everything. That's a clear sign things are progressing.
It's Frosty, so we're talkie. Wait, that's a different stream.
That's a starship.
Okay, speaking of the fueling process, Craig Millerbird is asking, is the center core loaded first, or the boosters, or... Oh, where did it go? Oh, I lost it. What is the process? Is it they all sort of loaded at the same time? Is it boosters first, then center core? How does that work?
They all pretty relatively close to each other, though. I mean, the first stage and the side boosters will start loading the RP1 pretty much at about 50 minutes. The way that SpaceX classifies it is all 3 of those boosters are essentially just their first stage. So if you hear first stage loading, that includes the side and center cores. So it's essentially all of them, although it may be slightly staggered, but it's about the same time.
Yeah, I just heard a call out. RP1 is being loaded on the second stage right now.
right on time.
Excellent.
And if it wasn't right on time, we'd be worried because they're in the auto sequence at this point. So everything is very, very carefully sequenced at this point to get to liftoff.
Yeah.
Speaking of the sequence, Charlie Cushing is asking, does SpaceX change the amount of fuel on board on a launch-by-launch basis for weight and balance purposes? I don't think they do that, right?
No, to our knowledge, Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavies just get fueled, and it's what your payload mass is that then determines everything else. To my knowledge, I have never heard of a Falcon Heavy or a Falcon 9 Block 5, I'll caveat that, being launched under-fueled. I mean, even the ridiculously small Formosat 5A mission, which could have been launched by a Falcon 1, and was launched by a Falcon 9 out of Vandenberg, had a full propellant load on board. So no, they don't usually. I don't think there's ever been a moment of underfueling the Falcon for liftoff, at least in its Block 5 configuration.
Right, and obviously you can hear the rocket agreeing with you again too.
They do it on the other side, so they do not underfuel, but sometimes for Starlink missions, though, they do tinker a little bit with the fueling procedures to be able to pack a little bit more of propellant without actually, changing the tank size or things like that, just to get more performance, which is very, very useful for Starlinks because you can basically add a couple of more onto one launch, and that allows you to get more Starlinks into orbit more quickly.
So extra fuel, maybe sometimes. Less fuel, that just wouldn't make sense.
Exactly.
Let's see here. Where did that question go? Oh gosh, I lost it. All right, well.
It went into the fog.
It did. It went into the fog, much like Falcon Heavy.
Oh no.
Ticonderoga, thank you for the support. They say, hey, look, it's Floridenberg Space Force Station. Oh, wait.
Floridenberg, I love that. Yes.
Haha. Okay, you got me. Gravelly Don, thank you for the support. Oh my god, it's $100 super chat. Thank you, Don, so much. They say Bacon Fund from Gravely Don.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you so much. Once again, we could not do what we do without your support. We couldn't do cool things like give you this insane venting audio and these cool close-up cameras without support from viewers like these. So thank you so much, Don. Thank you.
And I just want to say too, like sometimes when we run through thank yous, they can sometimes sound insincere just because it sometimes breaks our brain with the amount of support and the amount of love that we get from you. But every thank you very much is sincere. What Jack was just saying, it is exactly that allows us to be here, that allows us to do that, and allows us to keep growing and bringing more and more robotic cameras into DOS's army. So truly, 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 thank you. That means the world to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope I never come across as flippant as I'm thanking everybody. The thing is I want to thank everybody. I want to express our appreciation because we all really love what we're doing here and love sharing this stuff with everybody. But at the same time, we want to share the thing with everybody. We don't want to just spend the whole stream thanking people, although at the same time, your support needs to be acknowledged because seriously, couldn't do it without you. So thank you, everybody. I will return your support in the form of rapidly thanking you and getting back to answering cool questions about rockets. Stefan, thank you. Is that the sun?
Even from the pad right now? No, look at this.
That's wild.
It's foggy.
It is foggy.
That's from the hangar, I think.
There is a rocket there, right?
I think so. This is
from the
30
hangar.
minutes.
Yeah, that is basically looking at the hangar, the HIF, the horizontal integration facility, out at it. That's how bad it is.
Let me just say, I'm feeling really glad now that I didn't put a hand warmer on my remote camera. He says, being scared now.
Oh gosh.
But again, we also really, really, really should point out fog is not a constraint for liftoff for the Falcon Heavy. It is not a constraint for the booster return to launch site landings either. So fog, absolutely no problem for a liftoff today from a technical standpoint with the rocket.
Just from a human, people that are there standpoint, kind of a womp
exactly.
womp. But I feel really bad. Michael Baylor traveled all the way from the West Coast and it's foggy. But hopefully the sun does its thing. We've got 30 minutes to go, so everybody just rah in chat. That'll do it, right?
Hope we get lucky because exactly a year ago, almost, it was last November, we had one. It was an early morning launch of a Falcon 9, and same thing. It was super foggy, but the second that it cleared the fog, it just was spectacular. Lit up the fog a little bit, and then just clear skies. So let's get a repeat of that again 1 year later.
I'm sold. Let's do it. Troy, thank you for the support. Chris K, hey Chris, saying for the Robot Army Fund. Kendall Winners, thanks for becoming a pad rat. Ali Demirci, I hope I'm not ruining your name there. Ali Demirci, you are an absolute legend. Gifting 100 Red Team memberships. So many that you couldn't do them all in a single go. This is 2 batches of 50 Red Team memberships. I hope everybody in chat right now, if you just got gifted a Red Team membership, thank Ali Demirci. Seriously, thank you so much for that phenomenal amount of support, Ali. It's super cool, this whole gifting program, because it enables people to try out the membership program who otherwise might not have tried it out. And hopefully the idea is they see how awesome the membership program is, they get the cool perks that we have for them at the Red Team level, and they decide to stick with it. So thank you so much. I cannot express our appreciation enough, and I will just reiterate, we can't do this without you guys. And we'll keep on keeping on. You keep watching, you keep supporting, and we will keep doing cool stuff and sharing launches with you and people around the world. And on that note, William Stump, thanks for becoming a launch director. That is very awesome. And holy cow, Dank Jeb. Dank, you know what? I'm just going to completely go off the rails for a second here. Dank Jeb, thank you so much for pinging me in Discord the other day and telling me that there was a new United States Chemical Safety Board video. That is like my favorite thing to watch on YouTube. So thank you, Dank. We appreciate you for everything you do. And holy cow, $150 super chat saying when hop, RTLS is a hop, right? Okay, yes, sure. I'm gonna
Technically is, right?
Yeah. Completely unbiased opinion, not motivated by the super chat at all. But yes, I'm just gonna go yes. 100%. It's a hop.
Double hop, in fact.
Hashtag double hop. Let's see here. Margaret, thank you for the support. Plutonium239, thank you for the support. They say, will Star Whip be needed to carry larger satellites or spacecraft into space if needed? I'm just gonna. Yeah, well, that's what they wrote. So that's got to be. I think we're all just a little bit behind the times. There's some new thing that we haven't seen yet in Boca Chica, and it's Star Whip. Okay, anyways, Starship will be needed to carry larger and heavier things into space. That is what it's for. Also, rapid reusability. Couple more of these, and we'll go back into some viewer questions as we're getting closer to launch. Let's see here. Peter, thank you for the support. Ken Collins, thanks for becoming a flight engineer. That is awesome. That is the highest level of support. So thank you so much, Ken. We really hope you enjoy all the membership perks. Jump into our Discord and say, hey, I give you a one-time revocable permission to @me on stream and say hey, so I can provide you with the obligatory Forrest Gump wave greeting gif. Tom Dalton, once again, saying making bacon burns away fog, so everybody, you know what to do. Jacob Reddle, thank you for the support. They say one way or another, here comes the sun. Thank you. Michael Zimmerman, thank you so much. Watching from Switzerland, they say let's go Falcon Heavy. Stefan Belfast saying premature vent going on. It's like an Earth vent. It's different than the grass vent. It's different than the T-minus 20-minute vent, which is coming up here in a second. It's like a
T-minus 22-minute, in fact, yes.
Thank you. So it's coming up in like 3 minutes here.
Yep.
BVF, thanks for the support. They're clarifying the Back to the Future reference. Rankley, thank you for the support. They say if it's insane that we've gone from you can't land a booster on a barge to talking about the lack of drone ships available for recovery in 6 years' time. It is amazing how quickly all of this has become routine. Well, really all of this except for the Falcon Heavy part, but hopefully that will be routine too with 4 more Falcon Heavy missions scheduled in the next year or so. Let's see here. Looking for some questions. CF Flyboy is asking, when is the next Falcon Heavy launch after today?
Oh, I can do that.
Do it.
Okay, so the next launch is supposedly going to be in January now. No part of the launches this year, sadly, but the next launch is possibly going to be on January of next year. And that's either the Viasat 3 Americas launch with a geostationary satellite, or another USSF mission, USSF-67 it is, and both are actually very similar to this one. Even though one is commercial and the other is also military, like this one, the target orbit is basically the same, and kind of the performance. It's a little bit more performance intensive. We're probably gonna see double drone ship landings for those two, but we'll see.
I'm choking on water. Somebody else talk.
Okay.
I think we've all
Fog,
been there,
a lot of
Jack, so
fog.
we can help you out there.
I was
but-
thinking right now, Chris, don't you think Falcon Heavy is like trying to hit all the launch conditions that we see for Falcon 9? Like Falcon 9 has had night launches, jellyfish launches, day launches, all kinds of launches. And Falcon Heavy is like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna launch like maybe 15, no more than 20 times, right? And it's like, I gotta hit all the type of launches right now. So we had night launch, and now we're gonna have a foggy launch.
it's more to me, the joke I go for in my mind with this is like, oh, the Space Force wanted it classified, so they turned on the fog machine so that we couldn't see it.
You joke, but I really feel like a lot of the time at Vandenberg, it's like, could you have made a launch site for clandestine launches in a better place? I really don't. It's like,
I know,
it's like,
right?
oh, you want to spy on us with your spy satellites where we do our spy satellites from? Too bad. Nature says no. But that's enough fogspiracies for today. Everyone, you can take your tinfoil hats off. Let's see.
I don't know about you, but there's got to be a bunch of frogs around or something. Because it is
what?
very froggy.
Sawyer.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
I'll hop off.
Sawyer. Oh my God!
Oh,
you
come on.
had a follow up. Why?
Oh God.
I am
That was
not
a
awake
setup.
enough. It was.
Speaking of
that was a
fog,
total setup.
I believe Falcon Heavy is gonna add a little bit of fog of its own right now, because we're approaching the T-minus 22-minute vent for this one. So yeah.
Jeez. Tell it we don't need any more fog. We have plenty of fog right now, Falcon Heavy. Thank you.
Falcon Heavy hears your request and denies it.
It takes that under advisement.
Yes, there we go.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Ryan Weber, thanks for the support. They asked me how my bacon and coffee was this morning. I had neither of those because I went to a show way too late last night, and I'm operating on almost no sleep, so I didn't have time. But if you had bacon and coffee this morning, I hope you enjoyed it. Cape team, I hope you're enjoying your coffees. Greg Spencer?
Seltzer.
Nice.
I've enjoyed number one. I will enjoy the second coffee later, yes.
Greg Spencer, thanks for becoming a Capcom member. Hannes Rhetoric, thank you. Randiker. Hannes Randiker. There we go. That's words. Thanks for coming
out really quick. Sorry, through the fog,
No,
towards
please.
the middle of the rocket, you can kind of see that 22-minute vent barely through there. So it seems like fueling is progressing on schedule.
Excellent. That is a nominal thing that we want to see. Go ahead, Das.
Oh no, I was just gonna say if you sort of like believe in it, you can see the venting from the rocket.
You have to believe.
Yep. Just heard the call out of stage 2 RP1 load is complete.
Excellent. I'm just gonna run through some of these as quick as I can. CANP Railroad, thank you for the support. CD Knight Cape Town, thank you for the support. Nathan Crawford, thank you for becoming a PadRat member. Remy Turk, thank you for the support. Seriously, once again, I hope I'm not. Oh God, I'm gonna get fired for saying this. I hope I'm not beating a dead horse here. We could not do what we do without your support. So thank you, everybody. Casper Jasper, thank you so much. They're asking the radius that the sonic booms will be felt. How have we not talked about the sonic booms yet? There's going to be a triple boom or a double triple or something?
Six.
Yeah, double triple basically.
Double triple, baby.
Yeah, double triple, nice.
I love it. What is the sort of the radius for those that to be heard and felt? Do we go for it?
So like all of Brevard County is definitely going to have a shot at hearing them. The closer you are to the Cape, the better. Because this is going due east and then coming straight back in their profile, you might hear them in Orlando a little bit quieter. You might hear them as far north as Daytona Beach. But based on the flight profile, like if you're north of the Cape and you expect, and you're used to a Starlink that goes northeast, it's not quite going to be as loud as that today. But you should still hear the effects Daytona, Orlando, not as pronounced as if you're here in Titusville or in Brevard County. And if you are here in Titusville, prepare. Your windows will absolutely just shake with this. Yeah.
I love it. Sonic booms are so cool. I mean, come on. What's not to love? Well, except for maybe shattering
I've seen
glass.
so many RTLSs, and every time I still jump every time they come, even though I know they're coming.
Every time you stand there going, here they come, here they come, here they come. Oh my gosh! Like,
Yep, exactly.
It happens at like a sort of a surprising time too. Like basically right as the landing burn sort of starts. Like it's almost like a 1-2. Like you hear the booms and then you hear engine. Like there's almost no gap in between the two sometimes, which can really be a punch in the face in the best way possible.
It really can, yes.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you go, say, to the causeway for one and then back to the press site, because of the distance and the whole speed of sound, you're like, okay, I know it's going to happen at, 7 minutes after launch, and then, nope, happens later or sooner.
Let's see here. Alex Gar, thanks for the support. BVF, thank you for the support.
Oh.
Dave
Is that the drone ship? Oh, no. Sorry.
Where? What?
No, I
It's
just
just
looked at
fog.
the wrong feed. Okay.
What are you talking
no.
about?
Shut.
I was like, wait,
I
there's
didn't say
no
anything.
drone ship today.
Alex has either had way too much coffee or way not enough coffee.
Or not enough.
Hey, there's a drone ship out there. I gotta remind you, we have tomorrow another launch, and
Thank
it's
you.
a drone ship landing.
That is
So
true.
That's
Yeah.
why my confusion, because I was like, are we getting feeds from the drone ship or something? But no, it's just foggy.
Whatever
It's
the
just
amount of
foggy.
coffee is not the exactly right amount. Let's see. I'm attempting a Futurama reference there. Go ahead, Das.
I got
Nice. No, we're coming up on T-minus 17 minutes, and you can see the shot from the press site there. It's still pretty foggy. Even over at the pad, it's still foggy. That close-in camera has a little bit of the rocket's there. You can see the rocket, the glint of the sun on the side of the rocket. But we got like 15 minutes for this fog to burn off. Michael is out there as well, and Michael has set up his tracking camera, but unfortunately,
Oh my gosh.
we're just getting
Wow.
fog and a little bit of water from that. So
Poor Michael.
even
Wow.
if you look up, you can get some blue skies, but you have to look almost straight up for it. So hopefully something happens in the next 15 minutes. Back
Yep.
to you.
And once again, fog not a constraint for launch, just a constraint for being able to see it at liftoff. But hopefully it climbs above that fog and into the blue sky, and we get some good views.
Yeah, because fog obviously not a problem for the rockets to take off in, because they just get above it very, very quickly, and then all of your visual tracking of the rocket through 4,000, 5,000 feet, which are the general visual observation rules for launches, can be satisfied by airborne camera assets and onboard camera assets as well. So fog not a concern. Also not a concern for the boosters coming back. Their radars can see right through it to know where the ground is and to know their altitude. So fog is really only a concern when you are trying to visually land a glider spacecraft at a runway. So fog is good today.
I'm just gonna say, I don't ever want to hear.
A glider spacecraft, yes.
Which
yes.
one?
What would that be? What would be a glider
The
spacecraft?
space shuttle, my goodness, yeah. So
Hey, mark out your bingo cards, y'all. We got
Ding,
shut
ding, 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 ding. He said the words.
You got two space shuttle geeks under one roof. I'm amazed this building hasn't collapsed yet from our geekdom.
Well, there's some nifty shuttle photos in that building as well, which is always a treat. It's like
there
history.
are. I'm surrounded by Atlantis, Discovery, and Endeavour photos. I'm quite happy right now. Like
I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice. I think we're all happy right now because we're just over 15 minutes away from the opening of the window for this Falcon Heavy launch. And I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't ever want to hear anyone talk about Vandenberg and fog ever again. Oh man.
Well,
let's see here.
Falcon Heavy was supposed to launch initially from Vandenberg, so there you have it.
Someday, hopefully, a guy can dream, right? We just wrapped up our final Delta Heavy launch from the West Coast. Hopefully, someday in the future, hopefully, maybe, probably not, but hopefully, we get another heavy vehicle from the West Coast. But I digress. Holy cow, Russell Snodgrass, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. That is amazing. They say
Wow.
bacon, blackjack,
Wow.
and blank fun. That's a Futurama reference. Love your commentary. Makes watching a launch fun and informative. Does Falcon 9 booster rely on gravity for fuel pressure? There is some ullage gas, right? Do they use helium for that?
Yeah, they use helium internally for pressurization, but I mean, gravity definitely plays a part because when you light all 27 Merlin engines, they're just relying on the force of gravity and the pressure in the tanks to initially feed the propellant and the oxidizer down into the turbo pumps and the spin ups and everything like that of the Merlin engines. And then, yeah.
And by the way, just so you know, there amidst the fog, that little cloud there is completely normal. That is just some of the super cooled fuels inside as they reach the warm Florida air, kind of venting off.
Yep, it's a super duper cold can of soda.
Yeah, we heard you like some fog, so here's some fog to go with your fog.
Thanks. Oh my God, what do you exhibit? You're exhibit, right? When you say that,
Yes.
I bet
my
you.
Falcon.
Oh my God, and it's just like it's got like spinners on the legs, and it's just like a gaudy paint color, and there's screens on. Okay, I'll stop. Everyone's like, "What are you talking about?"
I mean, considering you can bring a satellite to direct to geostationary orbit and land 2 of the side cores back at landing zones here at the Cape, I'd say that's pretty pimped out.
Yo, dog, we heard you like landing rockets, so we're gonna land a rocket while we land a rocket. I thought it was good. Okay, moving on. Thank you, Russell, so much for the $100 super chat. Absolutely legendary amount of support there. I see a whole bunch of stuff coming through, and I want to thank everybody, but I also want to keep things on track as we are 13 minutes away for launch. And Alex on our back channel is saying all go from SpaceX, which is awesome.
Yep.
Good place to be 13 minutes before launch.
Nice.
Speaking of just before launch, we have launched some new merch. It's Falcon Heavy specific merch, and we're quite proud of it. Pauline did a great job with it. You can see the heavy design. We've got hoodies. We've got T-shirts. The hoodies are super duper comfortable. I'm definitely a hoodie person myself. If you didn't know that about me, fun fact. There's mugs. There's even metal prints from previous remotes. I think those are both from Brady. So yeah. Oh, and we've also got the NASA spaceflight calendar for this year. Well, for 2023, I should say. There's 2 different calendars. I like to think in my head that they are sort of dueling and competing. So if you're watching out there and you want a 2023 calendar, fight the other calendar with your purchase of a calendar. And whichever calendar wins, will, I guess, be crowned the winner. Or get both, either or. Speaking of getting more than one thing, though, I do want to mention once again that if you get 2 heavy items and put them in your cart, you will see a 10% discount on those items in your cart. So if you get 2 heavy items, you get a discount. It's a special promotion that we're running just for this stream. So go check out the store. Yet another way to support what we do. We've got the super chats, we've got the membership program, we've got the merch store. All of it is like, it's like 3 legs on a stool. And that stool holds up an innumerable number of robots and everything else that we do. So thank you so much to everybody for even just considering hopping over to the store and getting a piece of merch, or doing a super chat or what have you. The members, all of our members, just thank you. I think hopefully you can hear the excitement in all of our voices, and it's a joy to be able to do what we do. So let's jump back into some viewer questions. But before I do, Larson is saying chants, fog. That's the wrong chant. I blame Lars. Everybody, I blame Lars. Just go into chat and yell at Lars. I'm sorry, Lars. Let's see here. Adam Kehoe is asking the question that, it makes sense to ask. I feel like a lot of people use the S word on these sorts of occasions, and it's like, let's not even think about that. But, it's a question that bears asking. What happens if this does not launch today? Is there a backup window like tomorrow, or what's the deal there?
Yep, backup window tomorrow, and they've got time the rest of the week to should they not be able to get off the ground here in the next 10 minutes. But yes, basically daily windows are available based on range.
Got it. Okay, we're under 10 minutes. And we are into the serious end of the count. This is happening, folks. It is. How long is the window again? Remind me. Is it 29 minutes?
It closes at 10:11 or 10:13, something like that. So it's a shortish window today. Yes.
Got it, but not instant.
Well, no, in that
But
there is a
propellant's kind
window,
of-
but yeah, once they started fueling, it essentially became instantaneous because there isn't enough time within the window to recycle if there would be a problem at this point.
Got it.
So essentially, it has now become instantaneous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. JP Caspers is asking, does the core stage have landing legs even though they aren't catching it? It might be a little bit hard to see thanks to the darn fog, but no, that center stage, the core stage, does not have legs, right?
Correct. It has no landing legs and it has no grid fins because it is not going to be recovered. It is going, well, if it survives the atmospheric re-entry temperatures, it's going into the drink. But it could also not survive atmospheric re-entry too.
I do wonder if they'll do any sort of testing or, if they'll use data that they gather from the core stage's re-entry and untimely demise, dare I say, to inform, I don't know, future recovery or future, modifications or what have you.
It very well has. Some of the higher energy ones where they have expended before, they have, they obviously have all the sensors, they have the monitoring, they have everything with it until it can't transmit anymore. So they definitely get all of that data back until the point where it starts to be destroyed.
It's all about gathering the data. Dare I say it? I don't think I've said it this stream yet. More data is more better. So there you go.
Yes, indeed.
You can check that off your bingo card there. Good question though from JP Caspers. Dave Wolfie is asking, has this center core been used previously or is it a fresh booster to be expended? I think we've talked about this a little bit, but
They're all new.
which is wild.
Yeah, they're all new. All three boosters and obviously the second stage are all new today. Yes.
Gotta love it. That's why it looks so shiny and white and clean. Oh, it's the fog. Never mind.
And Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm doing this by memory. 1063 and 1064 are the side cores and 1065 is the center core, correct?
Yep. And actually, I know which one is which now that we actually have photos of the Falcon Heavy. So the one on the right here in this view is the 64, and 65 is the one to the left.
All right. Of course you would know that, Alex. Thank you. Oh my goodness. 7 minutes to go to the opening of the window.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. 64 and 65 are the side boosters. 66 is the center core. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, 66 is the center core, 65 is the one on the left, and 64 is the one on the right in this view.
Excellent.
And I know that, by the way, thanks to a great photographer that we have, which is Thomas Berghardt. He took pictures of the rollout of the Falcon Heavy. And you can see on one of those the 64 on one of the boosters. So actually the other side booster immediately. It's like Falcon entanglement or something like that. Like like quantum entanglement. Ah, jeez, I don't know how. Entanglement. I'm entangled with this word.
Entanglement.
Entanglement. It's
10 times
weird.
fast.
It's a weird word, right?
Eject.
Man.
Just
weird.
abort.
Don't say that word. Don't say that word.
Sorry. I said it and I was going to continue to joke along those lines, and I myself aborted. So there we go. But the rocket's still going strong. T-minus 6 minutes to go. Everything's fine. Chris G, I see you're heading off comms for launch, so Godspeed. Enjoy the booms.
I'll enjoy the ground shake and see if I can see anything. Yeah.
For sure, and hopefully you get some cool screaming coming off the VAB, which if y'all don't know, that's a thing that happens. The
Well,
VAB
listen for my scream first, then listen for the VAB scream.
just harmonize with it. 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go here. Everyone is jumping off comms to man their cameras or crew their cameras. Let's see. Looking for some more questions here. Gosh, it's just so cool to be able to hear the sounds from the pad. Panda Man is saying it's been years since the last Falcon Heavy. Let that sink in. I get the sink in joke. Yeah, it's been like 3.5 years, which is wild. Once again, we were talking about this earlier on the stream. The last time Falcon Heavy flew, Starhopper hadn't even flown. So wrap your head around that, folks.
It's been a long time. Yeah. And Stromberg should be retracting in just a few seconds here.
Cool deal. We'll see if we can get our eyes on it here. Amiga Clone is asking, does the core booster have leg attach points even?
No.
All right then.
It doesn't have that. It doesn't have even the fins, the grid fins. Doesn't have the attachment for those. So even if you were to somehow control it, you can really not control the reentry at all.
Makes sense.
That's the feed from SpaceX showing the top of the Stromberg. The clamps are opening now for retraction of the Stromberg.
Good deal. That's what we want to see. 3 minutes, 49 seconds to go. We did not pray to the sun god enough. The fog is still here, as you can see, but that's all right. We tried. We really did.
We really tried.
We did. It is what it is. Let's see here. Mr. Casino is asking, does the UN or a similar governing body inspect classified payloads to ensure they are not carrying anything that could potentially be a threat to global safety? That is not a thing. When a payload is classified, the only people that know about it are the ones with, as they say, the need to know.
Nice.
Let's see here. 3 minutes to go. What's the next thing we're going to expect to see here, Alex?
Well, right now they're completing the loading of the liquid oxygen on all 3 boosters. And yeah, right now stage 1 LOX load is complete, and we're going to see stage 2 LOX load complete as well in just a few minutes, and then startup. That's going to be when the automated launch countdown sequence will be handoff from the ground computers to the vehicle computers, and the tanks will be pressurizing for flight. And we're going to get that rumble at about T-minus 6 seconds for this mission of the 27 Merlin engines. That's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be really special. And we're 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes, 20 seconds away from launch. There's going to be a 2-minute vent, right? Is that the same deal here as Falcon 9's?
Yeah, once the loading is complete, the LOX load is complete on the second stage, they do a purge on the Stromberg to be able to, not have leftovers. And I think I heard right now LOX load is complete on the stage 2, so that means the rocket is right now fully loaded for flight. I think it is about 1.4 thousand tons or something like that. It's crazy.
There'll be a 2-minute
vent.
and we may even see it.
It's a ton of tons. Yeah, we might even see that venting. Hopefully, it's just going to look like more fog, which, is what it is. 1 minute and 35 seconds to go. I do not have my Apple Watch on, so I cannot tell you what my heart rate is, but I can feel my heart pounding in my chest. I hope everybody, you are excited as we are to see Falcon Heavy return to flight.
You see all that fog on the bottom? That's the engine chill venting.
Just so y'all know, I am going to pipe that pad audio in almost full blast here. So we will be listening in on those close-in mics. If it's loud, but just tell us about your excitement over the sound of the venting.
I'm just going to shut up, and we can, at 1 minute to go, listen to Falcon Heavy come to life for the first time in 3.5 years on the USSF-44 mission.
And Falcon Heavy is in startup.
Go Falcon Heavy. Go Space Force.
Go for launch.
Nice.
Excellent. 30 seconds to go. On my mark. Mark. $20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes.
It
Oh boy.
worked.
Yes, you can see the center core. It has lower thrust than the boosters. Falcon Heavy ascending into orbit, about to pass through Max Q.
Supersonic now. Oh man, this looks amazing.
Go Heavy, go. And Max Q. That is the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle. Oh, is this Michael's track?
I think we got it.
I think this is Michael's
Wow.
auto track.
That's amazing.
Look at that plume expand as Falcon Heavy ascends into thinner and thinner atmosphere. I'm getting Saturn V vibes right now, in the best way. This is an excellent track from this robot on Michael with Michael's auto track software here. Look how smooth that is. All right, the next thing we're going to expect to see is side booster separation, right? We're coming up on that next?
Yep, first booster engine cut off, Pico, and separation of the side boosters.
If I was less excited, I would make some sort of bacon Bico joke, but really, we're
Oh,
just
man.
sitting here watching Falcon Heavy ascend into space. Look
amazing.
at that.
And there
Bico
it goes.
and separation. Wow.
Now they're gonna turn back and boost back for landing back at the Cape.
Look
Meanwhile,
at
the center
that.
core is continuing with propulsion. Wow.
Yep. That's amazing. It almost looked like they separated the side boosters while the engines were still burning, and they just kind of went shoom straight past. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but that's kind of what it looked like. Gotta love it, and you can see the plume. Look at that circular plume.
Boy. You can see telemetry from SpaceX feed on the side boosters.
Yeah,
Oh.
that is wild.
I'm really looking forward to the Miko speed for the center core because it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, it's gonna be seriously hauling the mail. Holy cow. Go Falcon Heavy,
that.
go.
Wow, 12,000 kilometers per second. Per hour,
mean-
excuse me.
I love that you can see the strut there on the side. It's like, what is that hanging off the rocket?
They heard
Yeah.
everyone say that you need more struts, so they put more struts on
That's
it.
the shear
Nice.
strut.
Nice.
Protects from the shear.
All right, Alex, with your actual real answer.
Here
Here we
There
go,
we go,
Miko and
Miko.
stage Sep. And Sep. Excellent.
It's like
Off it
those
goes.
cameras. The cameras on the boosters returning back got a little sooty there, it looks like.
Blame
you
the
can see
center
grid
core.
fins moving. Yeah, look at that.
Side boosters have finished the boost back burn.
You
it
can see the
appears,
grid
so-
fins deploying too.
Yeah.
All right, everybody at the Cape, if you can hear me, get ready for those sonic booms here in just a little bit. Hopefully we have good audio of that.
We're gonna try. We got Michael's camera over there on the ITL Causeway, and we're going to pipe that in here to see if we can hear it. There may be some people around it talking, so if you hear people, it's because everybody's excited standing around Michael, it sounds like.
Everybody,
Yeah, I think I know a little bit of that, right, Das?
Yeah, exactly.
You're very famous about that.
everyone give me an F in chat for the Center Core. Good job, Center Core. You did
Yeah.
good. Thank you for your support
Thanks
of
for
this
everything.
mission. Yeah, right. So long. Thanks.
And
Go
thanks
see
for
the
everything.
fish. Something fish. There you go.
I have also heard good call out of the fairing separation, which we won't see because, hush hush, but it was confirmed as nominal separation.
Good deal.
poor SpaceX. Like right now, they might be struggling to get a good feed because the boosters are fogged off. The ground cameras are probably also fogged off. Oh man.
Hopefully,
But
as
hey,
they
that's how
experience
it
some of that
goes.
re-entry heating, we'll maybe if it's like condensation or
yeah.
something, maybe it'll clear the cameras off on the side boosters.
You can
You
kind
can
of
see
see like the Earth.
Yeah, and you can see the thrusters firing to help orient the boosters as they head back to the launch site. Absolutely phenomenal launch despite the fog. Yeah, NPC in chat is saying, is it dirt or ice? I'm not sure if that's soot or ice or what's going
I will
on there.
guess soot from the center core because they flew through the exhaust of the center core.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you can actually see when they return, you can see one side of the boosters basically sooted from the center core suit. So they have their own suit and also the center core suit. So
Nice.
the center
Double-
core, in some way, it's gonna live on with these boosters.
Double soot goodness. Oh yeah, because the soot from it will be on it. Nice.
Yeah.
Look,
And
I'm
you can-
honestly just piping in every microphone we have because I don't want to miss the boom. So you may hear the booms like 8 times, but whatever.
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to complain here.
I'm not gonna complain. Yeah.
All right, coming up on entry burn.
There we
and
go.
There you go.
Entry burn. 1 engine and 3 engines.
All right, now keep your eye on the bottom right. You can see the speed get scrubbed off as they look at that view.
Seems
Love
like they
it.
staggered the entry.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, clean camera on the bottom right.
Look, Michael's got him as well.
Oh my God.
Okay, Michael, you got to track him
Wow.
all the way in. Look at that.
Come on, buddy. Fight the fog. Fight the fog. They're coming in
Look
hot.
at this.
When we got clean cameras on both. That's not the same booster showing twice. That is 2 different boosters, both coming back to the same lane. Oh my gosh,
Look at that. It's up and to the
What?
left, Michael.
And you can see just how fast they are
Wow.
coming in. They're coming in hot. And we are moments away from sonic boom goodness.
And now look for the engines because it's 131, just like the entry.
Here we go.
Nice.
Love to see it. You love to hear it.
It looks
Double-
like we've got. Oh, they're just gonna keep coming.
I'm clapping alone in my house. That was amazing.
Is that the VAB screeching?
I think it was. Chris, yes, confirming that the VAB squealed.
Thank you, Chris.
High microphone. Yes.
Yeah, hey, we got the microphone there, but it's all good.
Both boosters are down. Look at that.
Yep.
Both boosters at the landing zone, successfully landing the side cores. You love to see it, and you love to hear it. Julia in our back channel saying the VAB did a little bottle rocket noise. I love it. It did. It sounded like one of those little screechers. It's like, it's amazing. That was phenomenal.
These are
I'm
just from some stats. These are the 76th and 77th successful landings of Falcon 9 boosters since the last failure. So that's a lot of landings. And I always like to repeat those stats because it's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah, holy cow. It's routine at this point.
Yep.
The definition
reliable.
of routine. My heart
kind of-
goes out to everybody out there at the press site
Yes.
and out there in Florida who had to fight the fog today. Way to go. I mean, you were there for it. Hopefully it sounded awesome. Oh my goodness. What were we going to say,
And they've
Alex? Go
already-
for it.
As a reminder, real quick, SpaceX has shut down their feed because of the classified nature of the mission. So we're not going to see payload
Yeah.
deploy and all that sort of stuff. Just as a reminder, we did lose the feeds from the rocket. We're not going to see anything from the upper stage and that sort of thing. So you all know what's going on there. We got the countdown clock. We got the flag. People starting to file away. But that was pretty cool.
They
That
did
was
confirm
amazing.
good orbit insertion. So basically, the second stage performed as expected. So that's good to know,
Hooray.
at least.
All right, payloads headed on to geosynchronous orbit. Well, I guess first there's going to be a coast for what we said,
Yep.
like 6 hours earlier.
It's first about 20 minutes, and then it burns to GTO in that egg-shaped orbit. And once it goes into that orbit, it coasts all the way to the apogee, and then burns again to enter into geostationary orbit.
Got it.
So yep.
We're going to have to get some of the people in the field out here back on commentary to get their reactions to what they heard. I know they got some things to pack up, but if we could get Sawyer and Chris in the crew back in to tell us about their experience with Falcon Heavy taking off through the fog there, that will be very cool. Hey, Sawyer, how was it?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted there. I just realized.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Unbelievable. I'm shaking too, as the building totally did behind us, and I could feel the reverberation from it. The ground shook. My pant legs felt like they were shaking. And then those sonic booms afterwards was, again, normally you anticipate it coming, but with all the fog, you couldn't really see any of it. So you just, out of nowhere, and then the VAB screeching. I'm sure you heard Chris screaming about it too. It was.
We heard it on the mic. We could hear it on the stream.
Oh, finally, someone could hear it. We're not going crazy. The VAB does scream at us. But
that was excellent.
Yeah, it wasn't a great visual, but the sound on that one was unbelievable.
It's like the water particles in the air helped transmit the sound even more. I don't know. Is that a thing? I'm not a soundologist.
Nice.
I don't think that's exactly how it works, but close enough.
Whichever.
What a beautiful launch. Chris G confirms fog equals better sounds. See, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Chris G said it, so I will believe it no matter what.
I still catch my breath a bit here too while we go. My hands are shaking. Chris can attest to.
I know exactly what it's like. Like, you get so much adrenaline, you get so much excitement, and then it happens, and afterwards there's literally like sort of a coming down. Like, your hands are gonna shake, and your heart like flutters. One of these days, I'm gonna put heart rate monitors on all the people watching the stream.
Please do.
Like, literally, you'll wear a wristband, and it'll report back to this. We can do it. It's not hard for me to do. It's just so many projects. I would love to see people's. It's like a little graph, like telemetry from all the operators in the field. One day.
We should do that for like Starship orbital test flight. And mine, I'll be like sitting still at 200 beats per minute, and then like a cool customer like Mary or someone will have like a solid like 60 beats per minute.
Meanwhile, you look at mine and it's like 400, and like some poor nurse is like calling the ER. Like,
it's just like a picture-in-picture of Homer in the Simpsons episode where he has a heart attack. And his heart's just like bouncing all around in his chest cavity. That's me. That would be me. Oh god!
Right? Yeah.
What a great day! What a great launch! Absolutely phenomenal.
Also, I can attest to the building shaking literally in that I put my phone against the window of the building just to take video of me taking pictures because I don't know, it looks cool. Nice. And all of a sudden you see it rumble, and then the second that the engines pick up really loud, it just belly flops.
Nice. Chris, did we get Chris G? I think we heard Chris. How was it?
You do indeed. Okay, so yeah, despite the fact that you couldn't see it, right? Like, so you could actually feel the shaking you could start to feel the building, because I was on top of our building here, and you could feel the building start to shake before you heard the sound. Because the sound can travel through the ground a lot quicker, like the waves can travel through the ground quicker that way. So you actually felt the building start to shake first, then you heard the sound. The sound was really incredible because it travels through the fog, and the fog molecules just pull it toward you in a way with the sound. But then what was really cool was, so it's totally silent, right, as the boosters come back. And then you get scared by so like from our vantage point, we watched them land on our broadcast. And then about 10 seconds later is when we heard the first of the three booms. And then 5 seconds later, the next of the three booms. It was the VAB doing the bottle rocket noise that was by far the weirdest thing of this landing, because I've never heard that before. But then, because of the way sound works and how it all goes, it was after all of the sonic booms, then you heard the crackle of the engines for the landing burn. So the boosters are down here, and then you get all of the sound. So you get a total mismatch of, the booster just falls silently and lands, and then when it's not doing anything anymore is when the sound hits you. It's really, really cool.
Nice.
And I
It's-
have to, my hat off to Michael for that track, because we
Yeah.
could not see a thing of the landing from the press
Yeah.
site. So my
That's
hat's
the
off
only
to
way I knew.
Michael for that.
Only
Yeah.
way I knew what was happening too. Props to Michael for sure.
And of course, we always our feeds have a lot less latency than SpaceX's feeds. So we saw it land from Michael's camera before anybody else did. It was almost 10 seconds ahead. And then I had to wait for the SpaceX feed to actually have the landed rocket, or else you would have seen the rockets land again. And I'm like, wait a second.
So
This
that
is
was
confusing, but
So that was the great part. All the VIPs who were watching from one of the NASA buildings here behind us were clearly watching the SpaceX feed, which is delayed about 30 seconds. So we get liftoff, we all start cheering, and then 30 seconds later, they start cheering. The boosters
start
separate.
cheering.
30 seconds later, they're cheering,
Love it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that Michael's feed from the Causeway was the first place you could have seen it on the internet. That was the lowest latency feed out there. So that was pretty cool that we got
Yes.
that. You can watch a replay everywhere else. All the other feeds, watch the official feed or whatever. You can see that again afterwards. But Michael's feed was the first place that you could have seen that. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
I think it's safe to say we can only get such great quality of service and connection here with that low latency because of the help of everyone watching and all their support.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
In
Yep.
fact, one way that you can support what we do is the merch store. And once again, I just want to remind everybody that's watching the stream, we have a deal on the Falcon Heavy merchandise. If you buy 2 or more Falcon Heavy products, you will get a 10% discount on those products. And
Nice.
just Sawyer, you couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it. What? I can't even words. We just saw Falcon
way.
Heavy launch. Come on. But yeah, we could not do what we do without your support. We take what we do very seriously. As much as I like to joke around and we all make dad jokes and just do goofy things on stream to fill air and all of that, it absolutely is a blast to do what we do, and we couldn't do what we do without y'all support. Bringing you the fiber feeds from NASA, doing cool robot auto track stuff, just come on.
I'm so glad we had the all the fiber feeds online, because when SpaceX or I guess when NASA TV started piping those out and we got access to all those cameras, that's we don't have to go and set up or anything like that. That stuff is living there at the Cape on a full-time basis now as part of Space Coast Live, our 24/7 stream, right? And so anytime NASA gives us feeds, we don't have to plug anything in. We literally just remote connect those feeds and we can start piping in them to our cloud broadcast servers. So we saw that we were going to start getting those feeds. We had Michael was out there on his laptop on the Causeway hitting a few buttons. We started getting them in. Patrick was piping them in, and because of everybody supporting us and helping us actually pay for the stuff, because that's literally what it is, we were able to bring those feeds in. So again, that was SpaceX giving the feeds to NASA, and then NASA TV piping those into those fiber connections that are there at the press site. Normally we just get those for NASA launches, but today we got a special treat and actually had them pipe through so we could see the SpaceX pad cameras, which was really cool.
Special.
It really was, yeah. And thanks to SpaceX for sharing a couple of those too with us. Yeah.
I can't say thank you enough to the people out there that support us in what we do so that we can do cool things like that. I hope y'all trust us to get it done, and every now and then it works out.
Yeah, I mean,
some of the SpaceX cameras actually got blown out. There was a period of black camera, and I think it's because a couple of the pad cameras went offline. And then we were like, oh no, which camera should we show? Because we hadn't acquired it with the tracker yet. And the pad cameras got blown out, and the official feed was delayed, so we couldn't show it there, or it would have launched twice. So it was an interesting technical thing today, but I'm pretty sure maybe just the wire got fried, but I'm pretty sure a couple of the cameras out there at the pad got knocked out of commission.
Wouldn't
Oh,
surprise me with the power of the Heavy.
Yeah,
Yep.
something tells me that whatever caused that will be fixed on the next Falcon Heavy. But either way, an interesting testament to the power of such a huge and amazing vehicle.
Talk
Oh
about
my
the
gosh.
technical stuff all day, Jack, but I think we should probably say thank you to some people that did some super chats and stuff here.
Absolutely. We kind of put a pause on those as we got into the business end of the count. So some of these are a little bit old, but I do want to thank everybody for their support. So thank you, Dane, William. Thank you, Rough Rider Show. What up, Rough Rider Show? +1 Apple box for you. Michael Aaron, thank you for the support. Donald McMullen, thank you. 459 Thunder, thank you so much. Jeremy Eagles, becoming a red team member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Starman Steve, awesome. Thank you so much. Jeremy Eagles, awesome. Thank you for the super chat. Australian dollars there. Well, I guess those would be dollary dues. Christopher, thank you for becoming a red team member. Fizzard? I don't even know. If your name starts with Fizz, PHYS, thank you for becoming a. Thanks for gifting 5 red team memberships. That's awesome of you.
Nice.
Axie, thanks for the super chat there saying go classified rocket go. Well, the rocket's not really class. It's more the payload. Anyways, thank you everybody for the support. Jeep Guy, thank you so much for becoming a Capcom member. Astro Zeus, thank you for the support. Fanfic Rockets, like fan fiction rockets, like we're making rockets up, like the Falcon Heavy launching in Orion. Paul Barina, thank you for the support. They want a zip up hoodie. I will make sure the store team knows. Keegan Slattery, thank you for the support for the fog joke. Mike, thank you for the support. Fanfic Rockets again. Thank you so much. Carlos, thank you. They say greetings from Brazil. Your technology coach. I'm looking for a joke there. I got nothing. Supporting aerospace innovation from Lafayette, Indiana. Well, thank you so much, tech coach. I just want to be like, put me in, coach. Put me in, but I'm already in, so I don't know. JB Rubin, thank you. Very generous there, JB. Thank you so much. Tim, thank you for the support. Julian, thank you for the support. They say Falcon Heavy. Mario Vega, becoming a launch director. Seriously, so much support from everybody. I cannot stress enough but there's all kinds of cool stuff that we want to be able to do and all kinds of cool stuff that we already are able to do. And the reason we can is because of everybody's support. So thank you so much. Mr. Morgan Kell says, welcome to Vandenfog. All right, I'll allow it. Thank you for the support. Eat, Beat, Repeat, Metalworks. I get it. Thank you for the support there. I'm just trying to make sure everybody knows how much we appreciate the support that you give to our channel because it's phenomenal. And you are helping us to bring these awesome events to people around the world with your support. So thank you. And look at the non-foggy view of the clock now. What is that? What is that?
Stream stays live until we can see
it up.
39A again.
God.
Like the fog is burning off rapidly now.
Oh
it is
should have
really
launched
burning
now.
off rapidly. Yeah, it's incredible. Like,
can we do it again?
Geez.
Do they have
Son
another
of a
Falcon
gun.
Heavy they can roll out and just launch so we can see it this time?
I think they have the boosters for the next one. So yeah, roll another one, launch it again.
Come on, where's my
Let's do
rapid reusability? Like, I want to see another launch here. Let's get to it, SpaceX.
Let's do it. Gamer Tom, thank you so much. Dean Harbold, thank you for the support. S stands for Star Bacon? It's a question. DLG Henderson, thanks for the support. Theodore, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Ali DeMarcy with 50 more Red Team memberships. That was like right. I saw that come through right before
Unbelievable.
launch, and I could not call it out because, launch. But Ali, thank you so much from all of us to you. Thank you for the support. That is insane. And now there's 150 people with a Red Team membership just because of you who now get to experience the awesome membership program and all of its cool perks. So thank you so much, Ali.
And you know what I'll say too, like if you loved our energy, if you loved the jokes, if you groaned at the jokes too, and you want to continue to groan at our jokes, or you love hanging out with us, joining that membership program is a wonderful way to stay in touch with all of us too, and the community.
Absolutely. Parker, thank you for the support. They say Falcon Heavy is back, baby. Thanks, NSF, for nonstop amazing coverage. Is part of what inspired me to return to my passion and apply for some jobs. And soon I will be starting work for a very cool space company. Well, you know what, Parker? You keep doing you. And we hope that you enjoy your new job. And thank you so much for the support. The absolute biggest compliment I think anybody could give me personally, or I think everybody else here would agree. The biggest compliment you can give to us is that what we do inspires you in some way or brings you joy in any way. It's all we want to do. We're excited about spaceflight. We're excited about rockets, and we love being able to hang out and share our excitement with everybody else who also is excited. So just absolutely around, I can't even talk. Around the world, thank you so much everybody for watching and joining us for streams like this. It's so fun. Brian Winter, becoming a Capcom member, and Chris Moole with a 10 curly L super chat who says, well worth it. We're cleared out on super chats. I know I ran through a lot of those pretty fast there, but I mean, I'm so amped up. I'm still riding the adrenaline wave here.
Yeah. It's fine. We understand, Jack. It's all good.
Oh man. All right. Well, spooky classified things are on their way to space, or I guess they're in space. They're hanging out in space now. Yay.
You know what I absolutely love about the landing sequence this time?
What?
Is the booster that was a little bit higher up that landed second. You can see the first booster's entire landing burn and touchdown from the
Yeah.
second booster's onboard camera. That
Oh,
is
man.
just
It was amazing.
wild to watch the first booster touch down from the camera on the other one. Incredible. Yeah.
It's like
And they did. Oh,
Inception.
Jack.
No, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, I think Chris before the launch mentioned that they staggered the landings of the boosters. Well, that's a clear example of the staggering of the boosters. So you could see one landing and the other one was still in flight. It was amazing.
Yeah, that is a camera flex right there. For sure. It's like, we'll show you the landing of a rocket from another rocket that just landed. No big deal. It's the future. Welcome to 2022.
You know, some people always comment like, couldn't they launch like another rocket next to it so we can see like side views of the rocket? Well, there you have it. They struck two of them.
That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, I mean, at this point, the classified payload is doing its classified payload things, what we don't have visibility into. But Chris, you want to sort of tie a bow on all of this? You have any wise words for the audience?
Well, I think one thing that I will say is November is a month of the heavies. We should definitely say. We just saw at the first of the month the world's current most powerful rocket liftoff from Pad 39A here at the Kennedy Space Center. And if the schedule holds, 3 days from now, the rocket that will take that mantle from the Falcon Heavy is scheduled to roll out from is scheduled to roll out from the VAB out to Pad 39B for SLS's launch attempts on the 14th, 16th, and 19th are the range dates that SLS has for its first mission. And it would take the reins from Falcon Heavy as the most powerful launch vehicle in the world. And then just a few months after that, the Starship is scheduled to take that mantle from SLS. So I think this is a good opening to the dawn of the heavy lifts.
Hevember is what Fired Up Hill says.
Yes.
November.
Yeah.
Or Nove Heavy? I think I like Hevember better. Good stuff. Oh man, it's gonna be a good month. Something tells me this is gonna be a good month. Well,
Well, indeed.
I think with that, we will throw y'all over to Space Coast Live. That's our 24/7 live stream of all things Cape and space. And you know, you don't have to stay here. Wait. No, I butchered it. You can't stay here, but you
What?
What? You do it. Somebody else do it.
Jack,
Abort!
wouldn't you just rather trust the butcher?
Oh my god. wait, but it's your bull.
It is kind of, I guess.
Oh.
We will.
Don't touch that dial. We've got more great content coming up.
It is going to end up over on a
Still use
Space Coast
dials to
Live.
adjust their TVs.
The cameras will continue to be live out there. We've also got a new live microphone there as well, so we'll have some actual ambient audio instead of the wind waves and backup noises of the port that we used to roll. But that's where it's going to end up, Jack, as soon as we shut it down here.
Excellent. Yeah, Jaden Booth says you can't go here, but you can stay home.
Nice, I like it.
And just one more thing. Valisk says, I can't wait for Starshipuary. Hopefully it's Starship Simber. I don't know. Either way, thank you from all of us to all of you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Absolutely key to helping us do what we do. Thank you. Thanks to everybody out in the field. Let's go hang out at Space Coast Live.
All right, I'm going to roll the outro music just because I'm still hyped up about the launch. So let's roll the outro music here.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right.
Thomas in chat says rip outro.
I don't know. It's busted. Whatever. Hey, anyways, we'll just I turned on the mic so we could sing it. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Later, nerds.